The story of Samson and Delilah, a classic narrative from the Book of Judges in the Hebrew Bible, explores themes of betrayal and human strength, encapsulated in a tale that has resonated throughout history. This story centers around Samson, a man of extraordinary physical strength, and Delilah, the woman who ultimately betrays him. At its core, the story examines the interplay between personal weakness and betrayal, juxtaposed with the concept of literal and metaphorical strength. Samson's strength is emblematic of human potential and ability, a gift that sets him apart, yet ultimately leads to his downfall. Delilah's betrayal underscores the vulnerabilities of trust and love, highlighting how personal weaknesses can be exploited by others. This narrative serves as a poignant reminder of the complexities of human relationships and the fine line between strength and vulnerability. The significance of Samson and Delilah's story in relation to the main topic lies in its timeless illustration of how even the mightiest can fall, often due to their own oversights. It reminds us that strength is multifaceted. It is not only physical, but also emotional, intellectual, and moral. This message continues to hold relevance, offering valuable insights into the nature of human resilience and fragility. In the realm of real-world applications, the story can be seen in numerous modern-day scenarios. Consider the corporate world, where leaders may possess considerable power and influence, yet their careers can be toppled by poor personal judgments or betrayals from those closest to them. Similarly, the sports world offers examples where athletes exhibit exceptional physical prowess, but may face personal downfall due to lapses in judgment or trust in unsuitable individuals. Supporters of this narrative might argue that the tale of Samson and Delilah is a cautionary story, warning against hubris and the blindness to potential betrayal by trusted individuals. Critics, however, might contend that the story unfairly places blame on Delilah, without considering the full agency and responsibility of Samson's choices. The story of Samson and Delilah intricately ties to other aspects of the main topic, as it informs discussions on the duality of strength and weakness, influencing our understanding of human nature and the potential for betrayal in personal relationships. It invites reflection on the importance of self-awareness and the need to safeguard against over-reliance on physical strength without equally nurturing inner virtues. Thus, the narrative continues to offer profound lessons on human strength and vulnerability, bridging ancient wisdom with contemporary relevance. The historical and cultural context of the narrative of Samson and Delilah is crucial for understanding the themes of betrayal and human strength. This biblical story, set during the period of the Judges in ancient Israel around the 11th century BCE, reflects a time when Israel was not yet a unified kingdom and was often under threat from neighboring Philistine forces. The cultural and historical backdrop highlights a society grappling with issues of identity, power, and covenant loyalty to God. The narrative illuminates the tension between the Israelites and the Philistines, which is essential for grasping the motivations and actions of the characters involved. Understanding this context is significant to the main topic because it brings depth to the allegory of Samson's physical strength and Delilah's betrayal. This era's defining characteristic was a constant struggle for power and survival, which directly ties into the personal betrayals seen in the story. It underscores the erosion of moral values and the vulnerability of human strength when personal desires and political gains take precedence over spirituality and communal welfare. One real-world application is the use of this story in discussions about the role of personal integrity versus public duty. Samson, despite his divine gift of strength, succumbs to Delilah's manipulation, representing how human frailty can lead to downfall when personal weakness is exploited. Another example is in literature and art, where the narrative serves as a powerful metaphor for the dual nature of strength and vulnerability. This story has inspired countless works, illustrating the timeless struggle between personal desires and ethical boundaries. There is a consensus among scholars and religious commentators that the story of Samson and Delilah is more than just an ancient tale. It is a commentary on the dangers of losing spiritual focus and the dire consequences of betrayal. However, some modern interpretations raise challenges concerning the portrayal of Delilah, suggesting that she has been unfairly vilified, reflecting a patriarchal bias in ancient texts. This contextual understanding influences other aspects of the story, such as character development and thematic exploration. Recognizing the historical setting allows for a nuanced interpretation of Samson's inner conflict between his Nazirite vows and his human appetites. It also enhances the themes of power dynamics and moral complexity, showing how individual lapses in judgment can have far-reaching impacts in a communal context, ultimately framing the narrative as a timeless reflection on the human condition. The concept of themes of strength and vulnerability in Samson's character delves into the dual nature of Samson as both incredibly strong and deeply flawed. Samson, a biblical figure renowned for his extraordinary physical strength, also embodies significant vulnerability, particularly through his emotional and relational weaknesses. This paradox serves as a focal point for exploring human nature, as it highlights how inner weaknesses can coexist with outward strength. In the context of the story of Samson and Delilah, this theme is crucial as it underscores the complexity of betrayal, where strength can ironically lead to downfall, revealing vulnerability. Samson's strength, attributed to his uncut hair as a Nazirite vow to God, becomes the very thing that Delilah exploits by deceitfully discovering the secret to his power and leading to his capture. This narrative emphasizes the interplay between personal fortitude and susceptibility to betrayal, showcasing how human strengths can become weaknesses when intertwined with personal blind spots and misplaced trust. Two illustrative examples bridge this theme to real-world scenarios. Consider a modern-day athlete at the pinnacle of their career, whose physical prowess is unmatched, but may be susceptible to manipulation by those in their inner circle, highlighting vulnerability amidst success. Similarly, in corporate leadership, a CEO may display unparalleled corporate strength, yet fall victim to internal betrayal or personal shortcomings, which can lead to the erosion of their public persona and organizational impact. Support for this theme can be found in various cultural and psychological studies that suggest strength in one domain often breeds overconfidence, which may render people blind to potential vulnerabilities. This duality encourages audiences to reflect on their strengths and vulnerabilities, urging a more holistic understanding of personal power. Conversely, some argue this narrative reinforces a deterministic view of character flaws, leading to inevitable downfall, potentially neglecting the possibility of redemption or transformation despite vulnerabilities. Additionally, critics might suggest that the focus on individual flaws in the face of betrayal overshadows systemic issues or environmental factors contributing to vulnerability. This theme intricately connects to other aspects of the main topic, such as the role of trust and deception in human relationships, by emphasizing that no amount of physical or superficial strength can safeguard against deeper emotional and moral weaknesses. It challenges audiences to question their own perceptions of strength, urging a deeper introspection of the balance between outward power and inner resilience in navigating personal relationships and ethical dilemmas. The role of Delilah in the narrative of Samson and Delilah is a profound exploration of motives and betrayal. Delilah is often depicted as the quintessential betrayer, a figure whose actions lead to the downfall of Samson, the biblical hero known for his extraordinary strength. Her role encapsulates the destructive power of betrayal and the complex web of human motivations that drive such actions. Delilah's motives are multifaceted, ranging from personal gain to pressure from external forces, such as the Philistine rulers who offer her a substantial reward to discover the secret of Samson's strength. This exploration of Delilah's character highlights the themes of manipulation, power dynamics, and the vulnerability of even the strongest individuals to the treachery of those they trust. The significance of Delilah's role lies in its illustration of how betrayal can profoundly impact human strength, both physically and emotionally. Samson's downfall, brought about by Delilah's deceit, serves as a cautionary tale about the dangers of misplaced trust and the vulnerability that accompanies human connections. This narrative underscores the idea that true strength is not merely physical, but also lies in the ability to navigate complex human relationships. In real-world contexts, the story of Delilah can parallel instances where individuals or groups betray trust for personal gain or external pressures. Consider corporate whistleblowers who, driven by various motives, expose secrets that lead to the downfall of major companies, affecting thousands. Alternatively, the narrative echoes in personal relationships where betrayal can destroy friendships or familial bonds, leaving lasting emotional scars akin to the fall of a great hero. Opinions about Delilah's betrayal often focus on her autonomy and the broader consequences of her actions. Some view her as a villain driven purely by greed, while others see her as a complex character caught in a situation with limited choices. Controversies arise around interpretations of her motives. Is she a manipulative figure or a victim of circumstance? This ambiguity invites debate, touching on themes of gender, power, and morality. Delilah's actions significantly influence the broader narrative of Samson's life, forcing a reconsideration of what constitutes true strength. Her betrayal serves as a catalyst that ultimately leads to Samson's final act of vengeance, a turning point that redefines his legacy. This interaction between betrayal and strength is a critical thread that weaves through the story, providing insight into the intricate dynamics of human relationships and the perennial struggle between trust and deceit.